Hi, it's the 8th of July, and
It's 6:46. Good evening.
and welcome, Laura, to Geeks on Screens with Coffee. Hooray! Let's get it. It's not cheering. Come on, Stream Deck. I paid so much for you, Stream Deck. You were going to make you work. I don't know if you can hear that, but there is cheering going on. I don't know if we were completely scuppered by the IT gremlins and the demo gods last week, and my guest's router broke, so got to do all the normal stuff. Sound and vision, synced. That's why wireless headphones were invented. Okay, there we go. And then your name in letters.
I love it.
I couldn't get Graham Brown all on one line. It was too much.
I just love the extra letters.
Why did I put an extra M in there?
Well, I'm a bit worried about the extra O in the Brown, to tell you the truth.
I don't know where that came from. Oh, let's redo that. Okay, sorry.
Yay, there we go. More GB.
Yes. Well, I didn't know. I was thinking, for some reason in my head, I thought you were Scottish, and I don't know why. And I think it's just I associated you with tweets from Data Scotland.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, no. Data Scotland I haven't done. That's on my bucket list. A Scottish Summit is where you've seen tweets from me. I helped look after the Power BI stream there, and I did a session there.
Oh, and you are an MVP? 2 years running?
Yeah, I've just been renewed. This year's a bit different because they auto-renewed. All the MVPs got renewed.
Don't say they auto-renewed. You did a load of work and you all got renewed on merit.
But that I was lucky enough that I could do lots of work, because there was lots of virtual sessions. But yeah, they supported us all by giving us a good year.
All right. Apparently my sound is a bit low, so I can. It's quite good when people are actually watching online, because then I can actually adjust things. So, how's Laura sounding?
Do I sound okay? Do I sound loud enough?
You sound loud to me, but then they're over the internet, so...
Yeah, well, there's whole clouds between us and them.
Yes, there's only one cloud. We know that, and that's the most important one.
Of course, there's only one cloud.
Do you know what?
It's just a very big one.
I got something we've got something in common. This is actually quite a nice way I've started doing. We've got something in common, and I got a parcel today, and it's got sequel bits on it.
Oh yes! Did you get a mug?
Well, what I was going to do is I was going to record me opening it up and being all surprised by the contents.
Oh, sorry.
And I was looking through your Twitter feed.
I need to say thank you to them.
I know. I managed to stay off Twitter all day.
Well, you should open parcels before you do that.
Yes, I should have. No, that was not your fault. But that. So you spoke at the last sequel bits. So the circus, or
yes, the greatest data show on earth.
And can I ask? Oh, what did you present on? Because
I presented on brilliant report. Can I print it?
Oh, okay. And how did you?
I'm now concerned whether I did this. I think that's the session I did.
So
either that or Power Query is taking over, and I'm now concerned.
You did. You can.
No, I think I did. Brilliant report. Brilliant report. Can I print it? So there's been 2 sessions I've been done in the last year, a couple of times, and they're the 2 that I've done. But I'm pretty certain it was brilliant report. Can I print it? So paginated. So a little bit of paginated reports, a little bit of Power Automate, and handling that question of not saying no. That's my normal thing of, can I print it? No. Moving on. What's your next question?
So,
But no, so I did the whole session on it.
can I print it? The answer is no. How does that work? Can I
Well,
print
no.
it?
So it normally, if a client says to me, "Lovely Power BI report, can I print it?" The answer, if I would love to turn around and say, is no, you can't. Go away. We're not doing a printed version because you lose slicers, you lose all the other options that would be there. But too many clients I couldn't actually say no to. They turned around and said, no, Laura, we have to have a copy we can print, that we can put in our records, all sorts of things. We need a snapshot, etc., etc., etc. So that's where that session came from, was me working out how to say yes to clients rather than the answer, which I'm sure most of us would love to give, which is, no, you can't print it. Go away. You can't have that.
But they can save
Because
it, can't they? They can do something else.
yeah. But I had one situation where they actually needed to be able to print it and sign it.
All right.
So they actually had to have real figures on there that they could snapshot. And we didn't yet have the paginated report visual. So we had to come up with some other things.
Oh. And there's no Uber magic to push it into DocuSign or something like that.
No, didn't think of that one. That's one to think about. No, there was no. So people would spend a lot of time producing a beautiful report in Power BI, as lots of people do, and without thinking about printing it. So that was where one of my challenges for one of my clients was the big thing of, how do we convert these reports?
Yeah, I wouldn't think about printing a Power BI report.
No, most people don't. But just now and again, there is a requirement.
Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah, you go. That's what reporting services is for. So, looking at your Twitter bio, actually, looking at you are self, and I forgot what the right word is. Self-confessed, self-processed, you identify as an agony aunt, and I quite like that. I like that term. And I just had to check before the call whether you actually were an agony aunt, because I wouldn't be able to ask you questions if you really were an agony aunt.
It's not an international phrase, which I just hadn't realised. So I've had Americans go, "So what's an agony aunt? I don't understand."
Oh, do they think you're into BDSM or something?
That'd be funny. I don't know what they think. But they went away and looked it up. Kind of like, I just had not realised. But I step into clients and they tell me things, and I feel like I have to kind of like listen to them rant about whatever the issue is today, whether it's management, whether it's software, whether it's just the weather, before we can start training. So that's where I got the agony aunt label from.
No, it works very well, doesn't it?
Yes.
I would have said you were more of a counsellor or a psychologist, a therapist, because you're listening. Or do you give advice?
That implies that I give advice.
I would have
the number of times I go, "Yeah, sure, fine. This is why I don't work for your company," but I say that internally, not out loud. And I let them say whatever they need to say, and then we just move on with the training. I don't try and fix it. I don't try and do anything with it. We just move on, and preferably, I completely forget it.
Ooh,
because there's every possibility the next day I'm training their manager.
Yes, but I guess that's the thing about being a trainer, is you go in, you're there for a very short period of time. It's quite intense because you could be there for several days. So someone's just put in the chat, are you going to start traveling soon? But
I'd love to start traveling soon. I would love to be allowed to travel, but no, we have to wait a while. But so most of my traveling has been in the UK. I travel around clients in the UK, but I would love to. I have missed going to conferences and traveling to clients.
Yeah, I think we all have. We've missed conferences from a. So were you, before your MVP, were you going to a lot of conferences? Because you said you did SQL Relay, but so actually, how did you start? How did you get into this mucky world of training and IT and helping people?
So the mucky world of training. So 25 years ago, I was IT support, and I'm married to somebody in IT support. So we were both on 24-hour call out. We were both doing supporting silly hours, etc., etc. Then I had a baby. You can't do that with a baby. So I worked out I couldn't give up work because I wanted to carry on working. So I phoned up a training school and said, I know Excel really well. I can teach. What do you think? And I had a half-hour interview with somebody, and they said, right, fine, Thursday, Excel beginner, off you go. That launched me into training. Welcome to training. And I started very, very part-time when I had small children, and it just kind of grew from there. And then I did some training for a large supermarket here in the UK. I was their VBA trainer. I was their Excel Advanced trainer. And then they fired their SharePoint and SQL trainer. And they went, now, Laura, that's you. And I went, no, it's not. I don't know SharePoint. And they went, no, it is you. We've bought some books. And Penny Coventry, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful lady, wrote some really good books. And I sat down and learned SharePoint. And then I went, this is ridiculous. I can't do this. So I did some searching of how to learn SharePoint and found SharePoint Saturdays by mistake, by looking for something else. And so went to SharePoint Saturdays. And that introduced me to the community of the SharePoint world. And then a couple of years after that, I got brave enough to submit to speak. And that was 2014. So I found user groups, which I'd never found before. I didn't realize there were user groups and there were people out there. I didn't know that. I met the whole world of consulting. I'd never come across it. I'd done all my work through training schools and the odd bit of consultancy, the odd bit of development work with them. My whole world changed.
What, when you realise you should be charging 8 times the amount?
Oh yes. Take off the word trainer off your job label. This is my one piece of advice to everybody. Stop calling yourself a trainer. Start calling yourself a consultant, because the chances are you're doing the same job, and you can double your fees.
Yeah, not many people call themselves trainers anymore, and I think I guess since the world of the YouTubes and the online stuff, even before the pandemic, that people were kind of, you would look up stuff on YouTube, on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
We would use our modems to dial up and find stuff out.
You're showing our age. Shush.
Nothing wrong with that. And that's how we would kind of learn. And so it's
that's where
training
world has changed. So when I started, it was very much you go on the beginner's Excel course, the Word course, etc., 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 and you'd go through them all, because YouTube wasn't so big.
And you got your big folder of all the effectively out of all the slides.
Oh, yeah. I used to do a XML course, and I did the 1-day introduction to what XML was, but the only notes they had were the notes from a 5-day course. So we would hand out these folders that were 2 inches thick to these people who were doing a 1-day. It's kind of like, they don't need this. Believe me, they don't need a good inch thick of XSLT. They really don't want that. Believe me. But so my training changed from doing introduction courses and things like that, and VBA, lots and lots of VBA. But then it changed to be, do you know what? Go to the videos. Go do the online stuff. Go to Microsoft aren't the only company out there doing lots of free training. All software houses are doing it in the various forms. And then me and other trainers would run Ask Me Anything sessions. So I would go and sit somewhere on those actual days I really enjoyed, I'd go and sit somewhere and they'd know Laura's in the help centre today. Bring any questions that are related to these topics, and there'd be other trainers that did the same thing. They were great fun days because you'd get anything, and it was kind of like you didn't know what the question was going to be.
Yeah, and a lot of the time you've got no idea, but I like it. If you've got 2 or 3 people there, you can sort of pad for a bit. Someone pads, and you go, "Oh no, I think I've worked that one out," or you waffle for a bit, and then you've worked it out in your head.
Or you turn around and go, "No, I don't know that, but let's Google that together."
Yeah,
let's go through and that's teaching people a skill. Teach people how to answer that question, which is good.
So I was looking at your blog, because you've got a blog and you do posts, and
yes.
Are these your own? Is this your own Lego that you're taking pictures of? Because there seem to be lots of figures in a couple of them.
Yes. I have probably over 100 figures. Probably well over 100.
Isn't there one
I put them all together?
You've got a lot of them in one shot.
Yes. So that's I use that one. That one I think is still across the top of my YouTube channel. That I've got a whole bunch of them. I try to find lots of different ones with hats in, because my blog's called Hatful of Data. So yeah, and that was that. And yes, there were lots of people who give me very weird looks, because the best place to take it was on my front steps outside my house with the best lighting. So I kept taking photos of these little characters, that sat on my front steps. There's people walking past going, "What is she doing?" But yeah, no. I have, so the latest blog post I have, it's got all these little.
Is that the one with how much a report costs?
Yeah. So look, I've got my little Lego characters.
But it's really so. Are you editing the photo? I was just wondering how you did it, because you do a really good job of sort of cutting them out and then superimposing them on.
So no, these ones aren't. So some of them I've actually gone out and found ones that somebody else has done the cutting. Some of them I actually go and try and do let's blur up, let's get rid of the background. The ones on the one that it costs, well, literally just taken on my front step, but taken with a traditional SLR camera, so that you can focus right in on those and everything else fuzzes out.
Okay.
I have behind my house, I've got a deck with a fence. So I put little characters on top of the fence sometimes and take photos of those, because everything behind is so far away. Okay. It's fuzzed out. And I nicked that. The person I nicked that idea from is a wonderful lady called Louise Fries, who's another MVP, and she does lots of little photos of Lego characters. And she just went, no, just get a proper camera and take photos. It works.
So I wasted save so much effort.
I've wasted so many hours this week, because I'm between jobs at the moment. So I wasted so many hours this week building little characters and working out all the things I could, all the little things they could have. So I've got one that's got a pneumatic drill. I've got one so I've got a whole set of blog posts I want to write in the next couple of months. And so I've taken all the little all the photos I think are relevant to those. So I had great fun. It's not very productive, but it's what summer holidays for.
Well, it makes it stand out, because you sort of go, oh, I like that. Oh, I might even read it now. So.
Yeah, it's the posts that you click on are the ones that you see with graphics quite often.
Yeah. And someone's put in the chat window, what do you consider your expertise, Power BI or Power Platform, and which one do you like the most? Wait a minute, I'm the interviewer. Ooh. Get your own podcast. Sorry.
When it comes to Power BI, DAX, that's I always feel an achievement when I get some DAX right, but first time. But let's be honest, I spent an awful lot of time on SQL BI site. Thank goodness for Marco and Alberto. But actually, the bit that I do the most in and I feel the most comfortable in is Power Query. That's where I spend a lot of my time. And that's where I do a lot of the stuff that get data behaving. When it comes to Power Platform, I enjoy building a Power App. I really do. Model-driven apps are, in my view, slightly weird. I don't quite get them because I don't come from the Dynamics world. But Canvas apps, I like building Canvas apps. That's good fun. Thankfully, I work with some amazing people who are very good at it. So when I get stuck, I can kind of go, I don't understand this. So how do I do this? But I very cheekily turn around to people and say, well, the rest of the Power Platform is merely there to prepare data ready for Power BI to plot.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big. I quite like Power BI, but the only way I could work with it is by compartmentalizing it and going, right, there's a design bit, there is the M bit, and there is a DAX bit.
Yeah.
The M Power Query bit, and so it was, the trick was working out I could do the same thing in DAX and Power Query or M.
Then you should do it in Power Query.
And it was like, and the idea is to push it earlier. So push it down into Power Query, and then you can do extra DAX calculations because there's certain things you can't do if it's generated in. But
the Roche Maxim. Matthew Roche's Maxim is do it as close as you can to the data. He did a whole post on it.
He did, but that's interesting because I took that on a different level, which is either put your servers closer to the data. So put your reporting closer to the data, and also put your processing. I guess that's the same thing, like your stored procedures stuff closer to the data rather than the user, which is what you're doing in the DAX.
If you can do it pre-Power Query back on, if it's SQL Server or whatever it is, if you do the query back there, fine. That's why I buy DBA's biscuits.
You know what? You make them happy with biscuits, but they live longer on fruit.
Okay. I'll try telling that to some of the DBAs I know. I don't think they're going to believe you, okay? I think they're going to go, no, Laurie, you buy biscuits. You know the biscuits I like.
In the days when we used to work in offices, and actually quite a while ago, I remember, we would go and buy biscuits and stuff for everyone in the office. In small offices, you could do that. Obviously, large customer companies, you can't. So I made this decision, this company, what if we just buy some fruit? And it goes down really well.
Oh yeah, big bowls of fruit. I think a great idea in offices. There was one place that I used to work where they had in their reception area, they had a Costa coffee. And there was an IT team that I relied on. I relied on them to rebuild laptops for me, sort out all sorts of things for me. And I would text them as I was arriving saying, what's the coffee order? And I would spend a tenner on coffee, and I would walk in and I would jump to the front of the queue. Best tenner I ever spent. Great.
Yeah, it is.
I've worked with IT people for way too long. It's like, no, you keep them happy. You keep them happy that they will bend over backwards for you.
We're so obvious. It's so blatant, Like little children. You bring them a little gift occasionally, pat them on the head, tell them they're doing a good job.
No, yeah.
And it's the same thing when you go to a conference. You feel so happy coming away with a T-shirt or a good toy from a conference.
Yep. I have way too many toys and things, but we're so easily amused by various things. But it works. And that's what gets me things.
It's called social engineering, if you want to be particularly break it down.
It's like malicious.
No, it isn't. It's just about being nice, and actually being nice gets you. I think being nice gets you further. It doesn't get you higher. Doesn't get you higher up the ranks. You've got to be able to do.
But for most of my career, I've been a freelancer. So because I've been a freelancer, I'm not in that career ladder. So therefore, it's kind of like I can walk in and I can buy people biscuits and coffee, and I can go and tell MDs things that their staff are saying, but nobody else can tell the MD that because there's a career path. I'm not on it, so therefore, just go and tell them.
Yes, I guess you can. Yeah, the great thing of honesty is being detached. You can do that.
Yes. If you're detached, you can. In 2 weeks' time, I start a job, so I'm going to have to behave then. But hey, I'm sure I'll find a way.
A proper job, a full-time job,
Proper job, a proper grown-up job. I'm going in as a solution architect.
Oh, can you? Are you allowed? Are you? Shh. Who?
Yeah, because I put it on. I deliberately put it on Twitter this morning. I'm going to join HSA. To go and join their new cloud adoption team.
I was going to ask you about that. So I've got HSA tweets written down, but I didn't pre-warn you, so I didn't want to bring it up.
No. It's so I'm going to go and join some guys in the community that I know really well, who are going to go and start a new team, and it's really exciting, but we haven't all started yet, so I don't start for 2 weeks. One of the teams started this week, but Andrew started this week, but so there will be things coming, there will be things doing it, and what's really nice is they understand that Power BI is definitely a member of the Power Platform family. It's so many Power Platform consultants. I turn around and go, so how's your Power BI? And they go, oh no, don't do Power BI. I do Power Automate and Power Apps. It's like, yeah, but there is this other thing called Power BI. What about it? Oh no, I don't do that. So they really understand. They want to include it as part of the solution, not just that pretty report that's added on at the end, which is so often.
Okay.
And that's why I'm going to join them.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll be a grown up.
Well, I mean, from going, I mean, I used to be I guess, consultant or freelance or whatever, and I used the term of going honest, going back to a full-time job.
Yeah, but yeah, it is going honest, but I haven't been honest in that regard since, wait a minute, eldest is 24. She turns 24 in a couple of weeks. So 24 years, 25 years, at least, probably more, since I had an honest job.
Well, I mean, you just don't have to worry about your tax returns anymore. That's probably the only difference, really.
Well, I don't have to, but I wasn't a contractor, as in I did long-term contracts. I was a freelancer, as in I would go into a client I had clients I went to on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But it'll be like 1 or 2 days a month. So it was a bit different, and I had like 10 clients all at the same time. So my diary was constantly juggling.
So were you hit by IR? I don't want to bring the tone down, but were you hit by IR35?
The IR35, I happened to. So for lockdown, thankfully, I was in a bit of a more traditional contract. For 3 days a week, I was with a client. So that just continued on through lockdown, because classroom training just completely vanished, obviously.
Yeah.
And all went virtual, and that was just hard work. And that client are a bit of an old traditional company. So when IR35 was a possibility, they said, oh, no, okay, everybody has to go IR35. And even though the government turned around and said, no, we're delaying it a year, they went, no, we started that ball rolling. We can't possibly change the plans. Don't be silly. We're doing IR35. So I did 1 year of being in an umbrella company, which is fine. Which meant I didn't have to do invoices, and I didn't have to do things like that. And thankfully they just absorbed the extra costs. So I just kind of carried on. It was great. I had a lovely year of showing people how to do Power BI reports and Power Apps and various things sat at home. It was lovely. So I had been incredibly lucky that lockdown for me was okay. Yes. I had work. Yeah. I had space to work, etc. So it was okay.
Yeah. Well,
I know I was incredibly lucky.
I think IT people are being quite lucky, because most things have just switched.
And I don't have small children at home. So, and I also got a chance to do things like I did a session for Austin Power BI Group. Admittedly, it wasn't midnight for me, but there's no way that I could have done a user group for them, actually going to them. That's a bit of a long way to go for an evening, all the way to Texas.
It is, but you could. I mean, where does your new company? Where are their offices? Do they have offices in
all over the world, all over the place? So I am really hoping, yeah. But don't tell them that, okay? Shh. No, I was meant to go to my first MVP summit when lockdown hit in, and I have never been to America. So I've never been on a flight long enough that they can show you a film. So that was my first trip.
Unless you're going business or first class, you're not really missing out, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't know. I went and bought myself decent headphones and worked them through that I was just going to listen to music and hide, because that's my way of coping of long train journeys, long things. I just took it as kind of, it's just going to be, you're in the air. That's the difference. But I was quite looking forward to going to America.
Yeah.
Getting that's fun, not necessarily the flying part.
I mean, I presume the MVP summit would be in Seattle at the Redmond. So, if you go out a little bit early, you can go around Seattle, do all the sites, go to the Needle. I mean, the first time I went, that's what I did.
Yes. Yeah. It's got to be done, hasn't it? And I was hoping to meet people. That's what I was hoping to do, was actually meet the people that I've spoken to in various meetings and stuff, but actually go and meet them. That was going to be quite cool. Go and meet the guy in the cube, Patrick and Adam. That'd been cool as well.
Oh, yes, because if you missed out on previous sequel bits, they were over and they came over to do. I think I kind of I sort of passed it. I was near them. Bow to their glory.
The SQL bits a couple of years ago, they came over, but I was at the same time that conference was on. I was at another conference, and it clashed with another conference, and I can't remember what it was, because I was really tempted to go. Just so I could meet them.
You go to Sequel Bits for the party, and first
there was no party this year.
Well, we had a party. You have your own party at home.
I was planning a fancy dress and everything.
Yeah, I hired mine, and I lost my deposit. The first time I hired a costume, I thought I would go.
Wow.
Because before I made them, and I thought, no, it's going to be too tricky to make something that I really wanted. I still
what were you going to go as?
I don't know if I've still got the mask. I was going to go as Huge Jackman from The Greatest Showman, but I had a Hugh Jackman mask on.
Oh, cool.
The paper, and this is a bit. The problem is I always overthink the costume. So the previous year I went as it was the previous one was a 1920 1930 sort of gangster-esque a speakeasy. That was that. Yeah. So it was everyone. I couldn't work out what to go as, so I went as a gangster Deadpool. So I had the Deadpool mask on, and and a red zoot suit that I had to kind of. I ordered that was too big. I had to sew it up and make it fit. Go to got a lot of effort to get to get the stuff right. But I thought for The Greatest Showman, have you seen Deadpool?
A while, yeah, I have, but not for a while.
So at the very end, Deadpool takes his mask off, and underneath is Hugh Jackman mask. So I was trying to get that in there somewhere. Either I'd wear the Hugh Jackman mask over the Deadpool mask, or the other way.
Yeah, masks coming off. Yeah, sounds good.
But I think it would just confuse people. But then I'm not there to make people happy. I'm there to make myself happy.
The effort. I by talking to various people, it definitely sounded like there was more effort that went into the whole preparing a costume. Oh, we've got a presentation as well, but you've got to have the costume. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
No, the parties are epic, and it's not because they've got a really good team that organise it. So if you've never been to a Sequel Bits party, you know.
Oh, I was planning to go, and we'll try it again. Well, there's got to be another one, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Next
There will
year.
be. Yeah,
Next year we'll be there.
definitely. Yes, definitely. They'll have a. I keep sending Alex different kind of ideas, so about what the theme could be, because it's actually very hard to get a good theme for
Yes.
for legal reasons, because it can't be too
Oh.
close to something else, otherwise you would get sued. And
Yep, you've got to be careful, haven't you?
yeah, so I'm always suggesting really terrible ideas to him. I'll just randomly email, what about this for a sequel bit soon?
Maybe we should do a joint effort. Okay, we'll just all send in random ones.
What about generic Swedish plastic block theme?
Swedish, yeah. We could Swedish block theme. I've got an outfit.
Yeah, I mean, making them, making out everyone having to make big yellow plastic heads. Yellow heads would be kind of entertaining.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yes, it's. I don't know. It's one of those. It's one of those things that it always seems like a good idea when you suggest it, and then when Alex goes, "Yeah, but what about this reason?" You go, "Yeah, no, it's a terrible idea." What about
Alex would look great as a Lego person.
Oh, yes, he would. Alex would look great in every. You haven't seen him in his frog outfit, have you? There'll be pictures online somewhere.
I know why there's the frog outfit, but I haven't seen the frog outfit. I will have to look for it. I will go look for it.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It was.
There's going to be frog outfits, aren't there? Yes.
Quite a large frog head, that he had paid someone to make. If anyone goes OTT, it's not me, it's Alex.
Although we obviously just have to get to the SQL Bits party. See what Alex does this time.
Yes. So when the announcement is made, what's the date? And the date comes out and you're going, I don't care about the date. What's the theme? Tell me what the theme is.
What's the theme? We don't care about the date.
I need some time to plan my costume. Why do they not think about me? Oh dear. All right. I need to finish up soon. So while I find the emergency question book that everybody gets a question from, what's been the best gift you've had from going to a conference?
What's been the best gift from going to a conference? Oh wow. The one that made me laugh was that they gave out little Bluetooth speakers to all the speakers, which I just thought was funny.
Was that supposed to be ironic, or was that just a?
I think once somebody had suggested it in a pub one night, all the organisers went, "Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that."
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. I got given socks at one conference. All the speakers got given socks, which just seemed very weird to me. You end up with lots of t-shirts, don't you? I mean, let's be honest, we all have enough t-shirts that we could just not have to buy any t-shirts ever again in our lives. And for me, I always go for the biggest t-shirts that's what I wear as pajamas. As pajama tops. I can't think. Oh, it's a question I haven't. Oh no, beer. So I went to SharePoint Saturday Belgium, and the beer given out was from the organiser's dad's brewery. That's where we went for the speaker meal.
Oh,
that was awesome. Elio and guys, and it was awesome. It was an absolutely brilliant conference, and it was my first one not in the UK. And it was absolutely brilliant. I didn't think I liked beer, but I'm now surrounded by all these people drinking beer, and it's like you have to really try some, don't you? So actually, I found out I quite enjoy Belgian beer. That was cool.
Ooh. Okay. See, when you mentioned SharePoint Saturdays, I didn't know there were such things. I went to SQL Saturdays, and then I think Cambridge did a joint one.
Yeah, Cambridge did a joint one. So Paul Hunt and Mark Broadbent used to organise it. And so I got to go to that one from the SharePoint side. So because I know Paul Hunt.
Okay.
That's how I met Paul Hunt, is by submitting to SharePoint Saturdays. And so I submitted to that one. That was a nice conference.
Which one did you go to? Because there was been a couple.
I went to the last one that happened. I'm trying to think when it was, because there wasn't one in 2019. I think it was 2018.
Yes. Was it in some? There were smallest rooms with the smallest corridor between them. Was it? There was like
we were staying in a weird kind of what felt like a conference center.
Yes. There was like a corridor along the back.
We all had red shirts.
We all had red shirts. Yes. So.
And there were a few red baseball caps.
Oh, they were probably just for the organisers.
Yeah, but because I was one of the only female speakers, there weren't very many of us. Mark Broadbent's wife gave me one. There were various people who kept going, "Why have you got a hat?" And it's like, because I got given it. I can't remember what Mark's wife's name is. And I said, "She gave it to me," and they all went, "Oh, we're not going to argue with her." I've still got, and it had a Roman symbol, didn't it?
It had the horse.
Well,
It's in my cupboard somewhere, because I must have seen you like lurking around. Well, I would have been lurking around in the corners, not speaking to people, sort of like hiding away from the sunlight, as I do.
You mean being a data person?
Yeah. And especially this SharePoint. We know it uses the database, but they don't know how to set it up. Good God.
Yeah. Don't bring up the SharePoint and databases in the Power Platform world. Okay, that's a bad topic. It's a bad topic. Yes.
All right. I think that's a great way to end it. I need to scoop and thank you, and thank I think it was Ferdinand for jumping in and asking loads of questions.
Ferdinand is brilliant. He's always there to ask questions.
Oh, okay. Do you know him? I just thought he was just.
I've never met him, but I think I don't think he actually does the job. I think he just does his job is supporting all the calls that are out there. He's wonderful. Okay. And comes to all user groups and everything. So thank you, Ferdinand.
All right, thank you. He's dropped off now, so it's a bit late. But if he watches the rest of the stream, he'll be able to see it.
I'll tell him.
All right. Well, thank you. Bye, Ferdinand. All right. Bye.